I would like to state that a long-standing politician and former member of the Finnish Parliament is here with us, with precise expertise on European Union research, innovation and education policy affairs. Please welcome Mr. Markku Markkula, President of European Committee of the Regions.
Thanks a lot. Hi
Welcome,
there.
sir. Welcome to Webit.
Yeah, thank you very much. And as many of you heard in the opening ceremonies of today, my short kind of welcoming speech. So I was very much thinking what to offer now. And this is now a bit journey going much deeper on that. So what does it mean? I challenged you and I challenged all the people participating to talk and think about the role of entrepreneurship, the role of startups, kind of what is the innovation hub. And now here I've prepared 2 slides, a bit kind of systematic approach to some of these experience, kind of case study in a way. But why this? Because it's the concrete work that we, everyone, everywhere, we need to do to build a Europe, a better place to live. But that means that we need to have a certain kind of mindset change. I said in my opening in the morning, so that I had yesterday evening a good 1-hour discussion with your president, and we talked mainly about ecosystems, innovation, and kind of new way to organize the governance to speed that up, orchestrating that. And this is what my message here with you is in short. And I'm very much referring to the kind of publication book. I was one of the key editors of that, the kind of planning what does an innovation ecosystem mean in concrete terms. I've done that with my own city, Espoo, the western part of Helsinki region. So we are just the Espoo starts 10 kilometers from downtown Helsinki. Espoo is already the 2nd largest city in Finland, close to 300,000 people and growing very fast. But what is unique there? In an area of about 5 square kilometers, not more than that, we have the largest concentration of science and ICT resources in the whole Northern Europe. We need to go next to Berlin to find that kind of focused activity and resources. And this, at the end, I'll tell you where to find the book, because this is about orchestrating regional innovation ecosystems. And let me just start by quoting from the back cover, where we have the Commissioner Carlos Moedas. So he's in charge of European research and innovation policy as a commissioner. And he says that this regional innovation ecosystem, the theme of this book, is one of the key concepts of our time. But then he adds here later on that we must continue to learn how orchestrating these ecosystems creates opportunities for business, universities and local government, and enhances the quality of life of our citizens. So, and what I've been hearing yesterday and today in Sofia is that you are having here a kind of strong move towards building this innovation ecosystem. But it needs to be a hub, kind of hotspot to attract, as today, attract people from all parts of Europe and globally as well to come and join. And for that, so the key is kind of entrepreneurial discovery spirit to operate kind of more like a bottom-up movement in the EU policy as well. That's what we, the Committee of the Regions, representing all regions and cities and being an official legal body of the European decision, what we request, what we ask for, so that we need to get the cities and regions mobilizing their own activities so that they show what does this bottom-up movement means, how to concretely operate with this. And here on this, I've added there a few of the key elements what I see not only in my own home ecosystem but elsewhere as well. What are the drivers, positive drivers of that change? And I want definitely first to refer on what is bottom there. 2 trees, but the trees are turned the other way around. And the reason for that is giving the message so that it's the roof, it's the soil. We need to have this kind of favorable environment fertilizing the best human capital development. Because the human capital is what makes different. It's the basis for all our development in Europe and globally. And there, with this symbol of the tree the other way around, so that showing on what are the roots and their role in this. So this is crucial. Then I've added there this triangle with 10 major kind of key success factors for creating the innovation ecosystem, and that as well. So the whole figure is more detailed described in a book, another book, more than 300 pages, made and written by 2 friends of mine, Jukka Viitanen and Mr. Launonen, Martti Launonen, who both are doctors who have their full professional career on innovation hub developments. And that's called hub concepts. You can find that Googling from the net as well. But the key on that is so that you need to have a mix of operators. And there, the key on that is really that at the top there are the kind of industrial business anchors. So business companies need to be the drivers of that development, that make it attractive, that show that ecosystem is worth investing, that ecosystem location is valuable for people from wherever to come and join. Then they go more in detail on that. So the third level is the startups. And that's giving boost for this industrial development. But then and the up part totally is companies, business perspective strongly on that let those focus on that. And that is my experience strongly as well on being part of that innovation ecosystem development myself, so that we need to create these favorable conditions for especially for young people, startup development, young and old, finding a good combination of the development, but let them to concentrate on that, making their future in concrete terms. Don't try to disturb that by asking them that you need to come to spend your time with the university management operations or with the local governance. But we, the political decision makers or university professors, we should learn from them. And when here we've seen that this Webit Festival is a big event, big activity with the combination of business people, European policy leaders, and above all venture capitalists, people who come here to look for where to invest. So I need to say that even a much bigger event is organized by our students. Students who started that a bit more than 5 years ago when this Aalto University, merging University of Technology with the School of Economics and University of Art and Design, Aalto University to be really kind of a new innovation university, forerunner on this development. So with a long history, each of these 3 universities who were merged so has a long history, more than 100 years, 150 even. And so on, but use that as a stepping stone for the multidisciplinary development. And that comes there on this young generation. Luckily to Finland, we can say that the Nokia mobile phones started to go down, so they needed to get rid of a few thousand employees. Normally it's not a good thing at all, but in this case it has these positive features because it stopped everyone to realize that what we need to do differently. And one of those was for the young people, that their dream anymore has not to go to the work in the big company for a long 20 years or even lifetime assignment, but start something on their own. Create something totally different. And that has influence on this startup movement there. And now, as I said, more than 5 years ago, they started to organize this, what they call the slush. The end of the year, November, December, when it's dark and cold and rainy and so on. Something that the sun is shining inside. And now, 3 years ago, they made a new record having 5,000 participants, 300 venture capitalists. But then already a year after, so 1.5 years ago, they had 14,000 participants. And the same now last November. And I've been in these recent slush events as well, because that's especially young people there. And venture capitalists. Now more than 1,000 venture capitalists come there. And media, hundreds of media people from around the world, because that's the hotspot of the new kind of thinking. And that's what I would like to see this Webit Festival and our slush young people to collaborate more, create these joint activities, build more on this kind of innovation hub network. And that's our challenge for the EU. And then I need to explain back on that triangle picture, because in the middle part of that, so it's kind of public-private partnership where we need to go hand in hand. There are a lot of this kind of work to create the favorable policy, have funding for starting new initiatives, put more money on kind of risk-taking. And very often that's called the innovation. But for me, innovation is not taking risk, but going on without innovation. That's the risk, because then you will lose. Practically, that's not even risk, because you are losing anyhow. You need to put investments in innovation, and you need to have that kind of policy strongly. Finland, we started to invest heavily on innovation and research policy already at the end of 80s. So long time ago, 30 years ago, and we made a nice positive change. The end of 90s, we were at the top of all rankings, being really the country where the future is now. What we missed was to renew ourselves. We knew what are the good things where we should make the investments, but we did not put that middle part, public-private partnership, with investments from both, from private investors and from public, really strong enough. But there are the key elements on that. And then on the bottom side, that's where we need to have the public investments very heavily in the education system. In our case in Finland, that's been one strong strength, but as well public investments for this university system, so that these innovation hubs really can move on and flourish. And that's what is the circle there. That's the new ecosystem strategy of this new Aalto University, focusing, going more to the multidisciplinarity and on that, so integrating research from different sectors. But in our case as well, so it means that we have actually invested in implementing more than 200 new professors on those multidisciplinary focus areas. So it's really building the critical mass on where there is the digitalization and ICT, there are the energy issues and new raw materials, linking that with the human living environment. How to have that more attractive. So transferring our focus on our priorities there. And that's what is important, so that you need to get the university community to understand what ecosystem means. So it's really the complexity. And now we are looking more and more to integrate that, what I have in the book in the front page there as well. So more investments in that 5 square kilometer area. And we have calculated already a couple of years ago that plans mainly from private sector, but public as well, so was to invest about 5 billion euros on the new housing, new infrastructure, facilities to have that growth there. What is coming through now this year is the metro extension from downtown Helsinki to the west, to the Espoo city side, with the 2 metro stations, one in the middle of the university campus and the other one in the middle of the, let's say, less than a kilometer from that, where we have the big concentration of big industrial companies, their research facilities, and their innovation R&D and head office facilities. But what we want to change there, make a change to see that the whole area more like an ecosystem which is kind of flavored by the startup activities. And if I can get the next slide, so I have 2 slides, or should I push this forward? Let's see, yep. I took there one example, what does this innovation commitment mean in practice? So that's what we call the urban mill. It's an urban transformation and innovation hub, an old building which practically 2 entrepreneurs with their risk rented the building from the university property management and got some support from the city due to that they organized services there. And then what they have now done in about 3-4 years is really made that a successful environment for new companies as well, but a lot of events. Every day there are several events going on in parallel on that quite small location, but really having the mentality, the mindset of having this positive collaboration concept. So people come there, learn from the others, doors are open. So even when I'm 1 or 2 days per week on an average there at the university, most of my time I'm in Brussels or somewhere else in Europe. So when I'm there, so I don't go to sit in my office desk, with my office desk, but I go there because that's the location where to meet with the people. And the only problem with that is so that often at the end of the day, I realize that many of the things that I had on mind, so I need to get done, are still on my working list of activities. So means writing, go back to my computer in the evening and start operating with that. So, but it's really a place to learn, and that's all those different logos there. Representing different kind of policy sectors which are then integrated there. And that's the message, that we need more of this kind of location where the people who operate there learn through the meeting with different people, but as well who are the operators of that. In this case, 2 entrepreneurs who have both a university background but a lot of other activities. So they operate very much and now locally there, but they have a lot of international experience, so they have a huge network of people. They know how to make these processes functioning further. Let me conclude now, then I just want to take from this book a short kind of a summary for this. It's about that what next when we implement this kind of collaboration. So I say here, so there are 5 points. First is to create prerequisites for and actively promote regional collaboration to promote breakthroughs on an international level. And we need this kind of locations collaborating on that environment, but then linked to others. And that's what kind of my message, that let's do more of this kind of activities together. Get these innovation hubs, go on to talk with both the commissioners and others so that we can really build a network of innovation hubs. And then the second point here is combine and apply the capability accumulating in the region to form a foundation for the shared innovation activities. What I mean strongly with that is getting your mayors, regional councillors to learn from that, so they need to be part of this innovation community as well. Good signs here, definitely, looks very promising. Third point is bring together different actors to the open innovation collaborative platforms by integrating top expertise, opportunities offered by technology solutions and key sources to solve commonly recognized problems. That is something that we yesterday talked a lot even with your president of the innovation camps. Now, making a decision to have one of the Danube region innovation camps in Bulgaria as well already next fall. So bringing the people together, learn from that, go deeper on the societal challenges. Fourth point is increase the productivity, predictability and persistence of research and innovation activity. In this way, adding clarity and impact to the network way of work. That's strongly the message that we need to do on a European level. Use the experience, what you have, use the experience of this Espoo Innovation Garden and the others. And my final point there on this list is direct collaboration of the thematic spearhead entities in which solutions are sought directly for the everyday and business challenges of the region's actors. And this means especially so that the regions and regional actors, cities have defined their smart specializations, right, where to focus, and we need more European partnership based on that. So people with the same interests, being that bioeconomy or inside bioeconomy, food and whatever, or in energy efficiency of housing, so that they work more and we get the resources that we have now spread all around Europe. We have good practices everywhere. We have knowledge all around, so we can combine that and with that make the new things much faster to happen. So there we need these innovation hubs, and that's where we need the pioneering entrepreneurs, pioneering young and old people to make the new things to happen. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. It's your speech is last year I said something like this, and I'm happy that you make me repeat it. Thank you so much. I said something like this when we were together with Vice President Ansip.
Yep.
And my words more or less were like this: we need policymakers like you who really see the future and who could make it happen for the sake of Europe and for the sake of all of us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I will give this book to you so you can start your own learning as well. So integrate many elements that you have experienced here with this kind of development as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Now I want to have a selfie with a policymaker like you, if you don't mind.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Thanks
Thank
a
you,
lot.
Mr. Markkula.
Right.